Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my home and to dinner with me this evening. I would like to remind you all that there are absolutely no phones or filming during the production. I'm going to emphasize that. If I see a phone, it will be taken from you. This production is an immersive experience. The actors may get close to you. Please do not touch them. We're a little uncomfortable with that. As they will not touch you, just sit back and enjoy.
In my younger and more vulnerable years, my father gave me some advice that I've been turning over in my mind ever since. Whenever you feel like criticizing anyone, he told me, just remember that all the people in this world haven't had the advantages that you've had.
Will that be all, sir?
Yes, sorry, I was just completely lost in my own thoughts.
Anything interesting?
Not particularly, only I just realized I turned 30.
Happy birthday, sir.
Oh, Nick! Happy birthday!
You remembered?
Of
course. What sort of cousin would I be if I didn't? 31 years young, I'd say.
Actually, I'm just 30 today, not quite 31 yet.
Oh, well, you don't look a day over 25. Come on. We love you, so we're going to make sure you have a swell time. Oh, Jordan! Jordan Baker. You'll like her. She's quite the golfer.
Daisy, darling. Oh, and this must be Nick. Happy birthday. The big 3-1?
Thank you.
So, we're going to Gatsby's this evening. You'll join us, Nick?
If it isn't too much trouble.
Well, that's change your tune. Do you know Gatsby?
I do. He's my neighbor.
Besides, everyone knows Jay Gatsby.
But yes, I'd love to come. I suppose I must celebrate my birthday somehow.
Of course. Why not do it in style? Anyone who's anyone goes to Gatsby's.
It is just the three of us this evening, isn't it? Only I find the scale of Mr. Gatsby's party is rather... Well, I don't mean to sound like a wet blanket.
Daisy, you never mentioned your cousin was such a fire extinguisher.
Jordan! She's only teasing, I swear. Yes, it is just us this evening. I know how you prefer a more intimate affair. So we shall have a lovely, quaint evening for my lovely, quaint cousin.
Aww.
Thank you.
It's perfect. Just the three of us, Tom and Gatsby.
Oh, come on, you two. I want to start getting ready.
Of course you're coming. Weren't you complaining just yesterday that I never take you anywhere? Besides, you love a party, and I love you in that tight little dress of yours. Shakespeare! Happy birthday.
Thank you.
31st.
Sure.
31 and still living in that shack on West Egg?
Well, you know, I don't need anything too flashy.
Well, I suppose writers like their solitude.
Well, you know, I'm in Bonds now, Tom. That's why I moved here. I could be a writer anywhere, but for Bonds, you have to come to New York.
Yes, well, I don't blame you for wanting to get away after, well, you know, all that unpleasantness.
Quite.
I'll be bringing someone this evening.
Your Daisy is coming.
Of course, Daisy will do as she's told.
Well, who are you bringing?
My latest conquest, the mechanic's wife. So I go over there, all ready to sell my car, the blue coupe, and I see this timepiece standing out front. And, really knows how to get my motor running. Just last week, we were in the New York apartment.
Oh, yeah, sounds wonderful.
We were
Tom, please.
Jordan, you can't possibly think of going out like that.
And why ever not? It's the 20th century, dear. There's no reason not to be fashionable.
But Jordan, they're trousers.
Just as long as you don't get any ideas, Daisy.
Are they really so terrible, Mr. Buchanan?
Well, I don't suppose you can be expected to behave with decorum of a married woman.
Well, who's for drink? It is a party after all.
Oh, yes, dear God, I really need one. Yes, exactly. See, tell me exactly how you live.
Okay, so I think because like
Yeah, exactly. No, really. See, I'm just living. I'm
over on the coast, famously remote, there's a man, yes, a man,
Who's taking us by storm?
Can you hear the music? That yellow cocktail music. Oh, there's something brewing, gotta swing by someday. Old money, new kicks, our favorite prince. But here he stands all alone.
So he lives in isolation with a money infestation.
So he invites the nation to come and get down, ready to feel the rhythm.
Steady when you see him, all the girls are screaming.
Go, go, go!
Old money,
New kicks, our favorite prince. But here he stands all alone. New kicks, our favorite prince. But here he stands all alone.
Great was quite appealing, but I get the feeling that he has been deceiving. Something's not as it seems.
Well, I think he's a hero. He may disappear, but he won't. Powerful as Nero, this whole place is gonna blow.
Do we even know him? Do we even know him? Do we even know him at all?
Thought I wanted bad freedom from the haze, romantically awake. The world is his to take.
Hell, here we go. Do we even know him? Do we even know him? Do we even know him at all? Over on the coast, famously remote, there's a man, yes, a man, who's taking us by storm. Can you hear the music? That yellow cocktail music. Oh, there's something brewing, gotta swing by today. Old money, new kicks, our favorite prince. But here he stands all alone.
He lives in isolation
With a money infestation, so he invites the nation to come and get down, ready to feel the rhythm.
Steady when you see him, all the girls are screaming.
Go, go, go! There's something about him, charming, suspense arousing. Who is he? I bet we'll never know.
Oh, if it isn't the Great Gatsby. How nice of you to finally join us.
Is this another one of your friends, Mr. Buchanan?
Yes, Martha is a good friend from...
Myrtle Wilson.
Tom.
I am terribly sorry, Mr. Gatsby. I know how rude it is to bring uninvited guests.
Oh, it's no trouble at all. The more the merrier.
See, it's no trouble, Daisy. Get over yourself.
So, the famous Myrtle, we meet at last.
What's it to you?
Plenty, considering I'm Tom's wife.
And life isn't going well for the pretty rich girl. My heart
What makes you
grieves.
think you belong here?
Well, Tom certainly seems to value my company.
Nick! Happy birthday, old sport! I got you a little something.
For me?
Well, of course. It's not every day your neighbor turns 30.
Yes, 30!
24 karat Welsh gold for my right of friend.
I'm honored.
What is that aftershave you have on, old sport?
That's nothing, it's just a Penhaligon scent.
It's wonderful. You must tell me where to get some.
Of course, Jay.
Listen, Nick, can I speak with you alone later?
Anytime. Anything.
And I trust that anything we say to one another will be held in the strictest of confidence. Men like us, we must be able to trust each other, mustn't we, old sport?
Absolutely.
Then I suppose I shall come find you later.
I'll see you then.
I shall be looking forward to it.
Shall we?
Sir, it's Chicago on the line.
I told them I wasn't to be disturbed this evening.
Very well, sir.
This is a lovely wine.
Yes, a Merlot, born and bred in our own fine country.
Well, it's good to have some good American produce. I thought you newcomers imported everything.
Well, I am an Oxford man, see, and I've always had a taste for Europe. But even I can admit that sometimes a homeland comfort cannot be bested.
How cultured of you, Jay.
I'm so glad you think so, Daisy. I chose it especially for you.
Don't drink too much, Daisy. She's a terrible drunk, really.
Don't play with your food, Tom.
It is not your place to tell me what to do. And look at it. What is this?
The deviled eggs, Tom. Surely a well-cultured man, such as yourself, has come across them before?
Well, they're not American.
Tom, you're being rude.
No. I will not have my manners questioned, thank you. I am an American man and I expect to be served American food with my American wine. You're halfway there.
They are American, aren't they? Daisy, shall we swap places?
Oh, I'm all right. I can only apologize for my husband's behavior.
You have nothing to apologize for.
Why is she apologizing? Daisy, are you embarrassing me?
Tom, please, not here.
You daren't.
I really insist.
Fine. I'll be back shortly.
Are you all right?
I'm fine. Thank you.
I'll get him to sober up.
Thank you.
You do realize what you're married to.
Yes, but that's being a wife, isn't it?
Yes, well, I wouldn't know.
Thank you for inviting us, Jay. This is a beautiful estate.
It was my pleasure. You're very welcome. Tom has been interesting this evening.
Yes, I'm sorry for his rudeness. That first course was delicious. Did you select the menu yourself?
Oh, no. My kitchen staff are of the highest caliber, know countless recipes. I can only apologize if the food was not to your husband's liking.
Oh, you needn't worry. Tom could quarrel with a brick wall.
I'm sure. You know, Daisy, Nick has something to talk with you about later.
Does he?
Yes. But for right now, why don't we sit back and enjoy the company?
So, you're married to the mechanic?
George, yes. His father scrounged and saved for the money to send us over here.
All that for him to become a mechanic?
For people like us, that's good going. I've never known anyone from my side of town leave Long Island.
Whereabouts?
You wouldn't know it. It's on the edge of nothing. Mid-Charleston. Nobody decent's ever from Mid-Charleston.
Well, if you were my wife, you'd never have to go back to
Mid-Charleston.
Yes. You'd never have to go back to Mid-Charleston again.
That doesn't sound so bad, does it?
I can't believe he'd bring her here.
I know.
That new money tart. Although saying new money implies the owning of money in the first place.
You know, I heard you got the bus here.
Never.
I know. Imagine the stench.
Yes, well, mid-Charleston to the Valley of Ashes. Hardly an upgrade.
Oh, no, I suppose it would be for the daughter of a factory worker.
So, whereabouts are your family originally from?
Would you excuse me for a minute? Tom, please! I can't do anything about what you do elsewhere, but around me, please try to be more thoughtful.
How dare you? What in the hell do you think you're doing, woman? I've given you your handcuff. That ought to be more than enough. Someone sort her out. Please. My apologies. Let's go, Metal.
Are you all right?
Fine. Perfectly fine.
Good. Well, we can just sit out here for a few moments and then you can go in and apologize.
Why am I apologizing?
It's quite a scene you were putting on in there.
It wasn't me. It was him and him as a slut. Did you see what they were doing
And
in
did
front
you
of...
have to be so rough with him?
He hit me, Nick. Which one of us has the black eye?
He's your husband.
And I'm supposed to just let him? I'm supposed to just sit there?
Enough! It's not just about you, Daisy. You have Pammy to think about as well now.
What?
Your daughter? I suppose she walks and talks and everything now.
Yes, I suppose.
See? So it's not all bad. There are some good things.
I am not a doll, Nick.
I know.
You don't. All anyone can see is a child, even you.
That's not true.
Oh, we both know it is.
Well, perhaps if you didn't act like such a spoilt brat, I wouldn't treat you like one. You know, all you have done this evening is undermine your husband and act like a petulant child.
He brought someone else.
You know what Tom's like. You knew that before you married him. And don't act so innocent when you're just as much to blame as he is.
I beg your pardon.
I've seen you throwing yourself at him all night, right in front of me, too.
This is about Gatsby.
No. This is about you being unfaithful to a man who, despite my own personal opinions, has been very good to you.
Good to me.
Yes, all in all, I think you could have done a lot worse.
Meaning Jay.
Oh, don't flatter yourself. If anything, he could do a lot better than you, but here we are, and you're what he wants.
I know.
You know? What do you mean, you know?
It was 5 years ago and... No, he didn't say anything. Nothing.
You want Tom. You chose Tom.
I didn't want to marry him,
But
Nikki.
you did marry him, Daisy. Not me, not your parents. You married Tom, and it is your duty to keep the peace. That is your only job, so for once in your life, use your damn head and actually do it.
You know, I would have expected this from anybody but you, Nick.
Well, I shall leave you to sulk, and when you feel like being an adult, you can join us in the dining room.
Oh, hello, Nicholas.
Hello, Jordan. I was just seeing to Daisy.
How is she? I was just about to stick my head in and see if she wanted to see a friendly face.
Yeah, she's fine. We had a talk, and she's calmed right down.
Tom is such a brute.
Well, I don't think it's any of our
But
business.
it's precisely my business.
I'll see you downstairs in a bit, I hope.
I just wanted to come and see that you were all right.
Oh, I'm fine. Don't concern yourself.
Of course I'm concerned. Let me look at that.
It's just a bruise. I'll go and fix it when the swelling goes down.
That man is a pig.
He's my husband.
That doesn't give him the right to hurt you.
We both know it does. And hopefully now he'll feel better and we can just get on with the evening.
Do you hit him when you're angry?
No.
So why should he hit you?
We're going around in circles.
I know, we do this every time. You know, I heard the Borsaws were getting a divorce.
I'm not leaving Tom, Jordan.
I never said you were. I'm just saying that divorce is on the table now. It seems to be quite the fashion.
Well, I think it's a shame to see old values go down the drain.
Old values like beating your wife. At a dinner party, no less, Daisy really sees sense.
Yes, I suppose I could leave him and move to Coney Island and become a showgirl.
It would be better than this.
If I were to wait around to find a man who wouldn't rap my knuckles every once in a while, I would be as single as you are. For me, this is as good as it gets. I'm not like you, Jordan.
And let's be grateful for that.
You are daft. And much braver than me.
Daisy,
Yes?
you know I'd do anything for you.
I appreciate that, Jordan.
Anytime. Anything.
Have I ever introduced you to my cousin Nick?
Yes, I've been sat with him all evening.
No, what I mean is, have you given him any thought?
No, I don't like to give men thought. It's not in my character.
No, I understand that. I just mean, you may find you have a great deal more in common.
How can you be so sure?
He told me so himself. Nick's engagement party. I'd left the ballroom to get 10 minutes away from Tom and to get some fresh air. So I leave, and as I'm walking towards the door, I can hear crying in the next room. Oh, Nick! Oh, whatever's the matter?
I can't go through with it. I can't marry her.
I don't understand. Margaret's lovely. We're all so excited.
I can't marry her, Daisy. Or any woman, it would seem, ever. I am an abomination, a filthy perversion, and no amount of flowers or dowry or good intention will ever change that. So, I am cursed to be lonely forever, watching you and your husband having children, living domestic bliss, knowing I can never be like that. I am as I am. It's not something I can seem to change, and I will not subject my shame or sin unto Mark. I won't.
Nick, you need to listen to me, okay? You need to calm down. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to feign a headache and get sent to bed. At some point in the evening, I'll see Margaret's chauffeur leaving her bedroom. Tomorrow, in the morning, I'll tell Tom, and you can refuse her easily.
Daisy, we can't.
We haven't got a choice. You need to trust me, okay?
Tom,
What have you done?
I went out to get some air, and I heard crying, so I...
Oh, yes, she does get quite flustered at these sorts of affairs.
Quite.
I hope she wasn't too much of a bother. She's quite the handful, isn't she? We're all a bit upset in here, aren't we?
Oh, no, I've rather a headache.
Oh, I'm not surprised. Let's get you to bed.
Oh, no, don't bother. I can go by myself. Good night, Cousin Nick. I'm truly sorry for my outburst.
Good night, Daisy.
Right. Now she's gone. What happened?
It's like I said, I heard crying and I thought someone was upset, so I...
And why didn't you come and get me?
Oh, well, I didn't want to spoil your evening.
If it's something about Daisy, you come and get me.
I do hope she's all right.
Yeah, she'll be fine. She just needs a moment to get over herself. Trust me, they always do.
I'm sure.
You've got all this to look forward to, haven't you? You lucky boy.
Yes, well, speaking of, we'd really better get back to the party.
Hadn't we just? Are you feeling better this morning?
I'm sorry.
Your headache.
Oh, Yes, I'll apologize to Aunt Beatrice later. You know, Tom, I saw something rather peculiar last night.
Oh, really?
Yes, when I went to retire yesterday evening, I saw Margaret's chauffeur leaving her bedroom looking all muddled. I can't possibly think where she could be going so late. I mean, it's probably nothing, but I thought you ought to know. Have I spoken out of turn?
No, you were right to tell me. I shall deal with this. It doesn't concern you anymore.
But Nick,
This isn't your problem to deal with. Now you stay out of the way, okay?
Okay.
I mean it, Daisy. This is nothing to worry your pretty little head about.
I can't marry her. I refuse.
Of course you won't marry her, you fool.
This is an outrage. I am outraged.
We need to nip this in the bud now, or this whole will ruin the entire family's reputation.
You're right. Of course, you're right. It's just
Just what?
Margaret. You know, maybe it's all a misunderstanding.
Would you stop being such a big girl's flouse? God! Would you rather I got your mother to sort it for you? Or perhaps even Daisy?
Morning.
We shall speak to her ourselves
And do what?
and make it completely clear that there is no room for promiscuity in our house. For families like us, Nicholas, it's about protecting the pack. If there's a wolf who doesn't know its place, then you leave it behind.
Understood.
Now, after you.
And we never spoke about it again. Not even now, he lives so close by.
That was a rotten thing to do to Marge.
Oh, no, it's all right. I saw in last May's paper she got married to some earl from England. The British don't really read up on us, so really it all ended rather well.
And Nick is still a bachelor. Won't that get suspicious?
I don't think so.
Well, I'm going to join the others. Are you coming?
I will in a moment. I may just powder my nose.
Oh, where is everyone?
Well, Tom and Myrtle are off, enjoying each other's company. Don't know where Gatsby's gotten to, and Daisy, last I saw, was with you.
She's gone to powder her nose in the bathrooms. I'm sure she'll be back shortly.
Wonderful.
Quite. Nick, I've noticed how you are around Jay.
I'm sure I don't know what you mean, Jordan.
You do. In the same way you've noticed how I am with Daisy.
We shouldn't have this conversation, really.
I love her, Nick. And you love Jay.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. Even if you can't admit it to me, at least admit it to yourself.
And what if I did? How would that change anything? Would it make you happy to know that I'm just like you?
You are just like me, Nick. And pining after a man who is not interested in you is not going to help you.
I could say the same thing to you.
Yes, you could. But I know when to stop when it's clear that they don't feel the same way. Nick, Gatsby is not in love with you.
You don't know that. He might be. He's not married like Daisy. He's never been married. Perhaps he doesn't
Nick,
want
he's
to
not
be.
in love with you. You have to
He
let it
might
go.
be!
Fine. If you're not willing to see sense, I cannot force you.
Jordan, my oldest friends, you must excuse my absence. Unavoidable. You see, I donate some large sums to charitable
We
causes
understand.
each quarter.
Jay, I understand that you wanted to speak to me alone this evening.
Yes, old sport, I really do need to get you alone at some point before the night is out. Perhaps we could... Jay, could you excuse me for a moment? Daisy? Are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine. How are you?
Much better now that you're here.
How about some music? It is my birthday after all.
Clip singer! When the music starts to swell, it's a feeling I know well. I can show you heaven, I've been to hell. You can have it all with me. If the stars do align, just for a short time. What's your wish? It's my command. It's time for a jamboree. Just dance, dance, dance as much as you can. Forget who you came with, she's with me. You'll find where you're meant to be. So just swing, swing, swing. Hear the music ring, ring, ring. And don't you worry about a thing. It's time for a jamboree. So if the music is too loud and you want to slow down, come on, Grandpa, I'll show you out. The party can't lose its beat. Everything a girl could want. The bar is fully stocked. Perhaps one day you'll fall in love. It'll all be thanks to me. Just dance, dance, dance as much as you can. You got to let me set you free. You'll find where you're meant to be. Just swing, swing, swing. Hear the music ring, ring, ring. And don't you worry about a thing. It's time for a jamboree. All you've got to do is dance with me, sugar, and I can make it all right. You and me, we're just like dynamite, yeah, girl. We're gonna set this place alight. Just dance, dance, dance as much as you can. You got to let me set you free. Find where you're meant to be. Just swing, swing, swing. Hear the music ring, ring, ring. And don't you worry about a thing. It's time for a jamboree. That's right. It's time for a jamboree. Yeah, girl. It's time for a jamboree.
Mr. Gatsby, sir. It's Wolfsheim. He's rather insistent that he'll see you this evening.
Well, invite him in. Everybody loves a good party.
Jay, is everything all right? I've read about that man in the paper.
Thugs like Wolfsheim are no trouble for me. I'll be all right, don't you worry. Say, Nick, have I ever told you how I got here? To West Egg?
No, you haven't actually.
I'll tell you the God's honest truth. I am the son of some wealthy people from the Middle West, all dead now. I was educated at Oxford, but raised in America, because all my family were educated there for many years. It's a family tradition.
What part of Middle West?
San Francisco. My family all died, and I came into a great deal of money. After that, I'd lived like a young Raja in all the capitals of Europe. Paris, Venice, Rome, collecting jewels, chiefly rubies, hunting big game, painting a little, things for myself mostly, and trying to forget something very sad that happened long ago. Then came the war, old sport. It was a great relief to me, and I tried very hard to die. But I seemed to bear an enchanted life. I accepted a commission as first lieutenant when it began. In the Argonne Forest, I took 2 machine gun detachments so far forward that there was a half-mile gap on either side where the infantry couldn't advance. We stayed there for 2 days and 2 nights, 130 men, 16 Louis guns. And when the infantry came up at last, they found the insignias of 3 German divisions amongst the piles of dead. I received a decoration from every Allied government. I was made a major. Even Montenegro, little Montenegro, down on the Adriatic Sea. A souvenir from my Oxford days. It was taken in Trinity Quad. The man on my left is now the Earl of Doncaster.
It's all true. Every impossible detail.
You see, Nick, I'm going to make a big request of you. I don't know what you've heard about me, but I would hate for you to get the wrong impression based on all the lies you must have heard around. You see, I really need you to get me a private audience with Daisy.
Daisy? Sure.
We've been waiting for each other for 5 years.
What? How?
Well, I spent a great deal of the war stationed in Louisville, and there she was. Daisy. The golden girl with the voice like money. We knew we were made for each other. It was a summer of sleepless nights and whispered secrets. I love her, Nick, unashamedly and fiercely, and no shards of hate shall ever pierce her unfaltering skin, not so long as I'm beside her.
But, Tom.
Oh, she had to, old sport. I was off to Oxford and she was turning 20. That's hardly a debutante. No, she did what she had to do. But I'm here now, and we can be together. Say that you'll help me.
Of course, Jay. Anytime, anything.
Oh, thank you, Nick, truly. I'll be forever in your debt.
Over on the coast, famously remote, there's a man, ever aloof. Can you hear the music? See emerald green light. Gatsby, Gatsby. What stories you tell, Gatsby, Gatsby. My heart starts to swell. Old money, new kicks, our favorite prince, but he stands all alone. Man with all the medals, or so he does say. Gatsby, Gatsby, what stories you tell, Gatsby, Gatsby. House beyond belief, New York party chief goes his bone. Give a dog a bone. Oily demand dimensions, let me past the surface. Gatsby, Gatsby, what stories you tell. Gatsby, Gatsby, I'm under his spell. Gatsby, Gatsby, give me your answer due. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you.
I believe we may have gotten off on the wrong foot. I can imagine that we're both more alike than we'd both care to admit, aside from both associating with my husband. And I felt I owed it to you to let you know what sort of a man he is. Please?
Fine. Say a piece, Miss Buchanan.
Trust me when I say that despite the fact Tom is my husband, he is a cruel man, vindictive and mean, violent to the core. He's not worth your trouble, Myrtle. You have a loving husband at home who cares for you. Just stay with him for your own sake. Don't place all your bets in his corner. Don't shackle yourself with Tom like I did.
Daisy, thank you.
It's him. Everything I do is for him. If I were a bird, then I'd sing through the night to praise the sight of
Him, he comes to call when I am alone. We play pretend and he returns home. And I am left to wonder, should I see things this way? Perhaps he's just kind. He maddens every daydream, leaving me blind. And one day when I wake up and I wish on shooting stars, perhaps they will realize how lucky they are. He sees things in me I don't understand.
He swears that I'm a part of his plan.
He does what no one else can. And I wish he'd take me away from here. But I'm invisible, I just disappear.
But still,
it's clear I may be nothing to him, really.
I could never be enough no matter how hard I try.
He
I'll
adores
never stop to want to look in his
her.
eye.
Perhaps she's not the villain I paint her to be. It was foolish to think he could settle for me. It's him, my angel and my sin. I do anything for him. It's him, the only one I truly die for. The one who saves my life, oh, the one who's ever
I've been waiting for this whole evening.
Oh, yeah?
Of course, you're as irresistible as ever.
I bet Daisy doesn't do this, does she?
Don't you dare mention her fucking name, you whore!
But Tom, you...
That is my wife you're talking about. My wife, the woman I gave my child to. You are to have nothing to do with her. Am I making myself completely clear? I am the only person who has the right to say her name.
Daisy was right. You're a horrible, horrible man.
Daisy said what? What kind of lies and deceit have you been spreading about my good name? A name that, in good faith, I gave to you on our wedding day, with the understanding that you were to support me for the rest of our days.
Tom, I don't know what you mean. I didn't say anything.
Then what's this I hear, then? You have been suggesting that I'm a cruel and vindictive man and not worth your time?
I didn't say anything, I swear.
And now you're calling me a liar. My face as well.
I promise.
Oh, Daisy. You promise? Really? And what good is your word after you have been going behind my back and spreading devilish lies about me to your little friends? How long have you been deceiving me, Daisy? You know what? It doesn't matter. You've betrayed me. You know that I've never been cruel to you. I've never laid a hand on you in malice. And I've given you everything you could possibly desire. And this is how you repay my generosity and kindness? You've taken a vow to obey me. So I will ask again, why do I hear that you have been selling my name?
Please, Tom, I swear I didn't say anything.
How very brave, my love. Calling me a liar again. This is your last chance, Daisy. Why have you betrayed me?
Okay, Tom, I did say that, but only to Myrtle because I love you, and she is taking you away from me and getting in the way of our marriage, and I just wanted to have you for myself.
Daisy, you foolish little girl. You stay away from Myrtle. She's no concern of yours. Don't you worry about her. What you should worry about is keeping a gauge on the little wandering mouth of yours. You don't want to find me going out with someone else just because you couldn't keep your mouth shut now, do you?
No, Tom.
Good. Now, go sort yourself out and come join us when you're looking more presentable. I don't want my wife looking like a damn vagrant in front of our acquaintances.
Oh, how have I found myself here? I can't lose him. I would be ruined, but maybe Jay... No, he's just kind, and I shouldn't stray. And Tom is my husband, but I cannot live under her shadow anymore. I'll be better. And then he won't need her anymore. I have to show him that I can be such a good wife because Pammy needs him. And I need him. She stands there waiting for what? I'm just not sure. She smiles at me and I can see I'm not alone anymore. It's a peace almost like sleeping, but the second I draw near, I lose my cool, stupid fool, and I can watch her disappear.
The hours change and lovers fade, and time just passes by. He just looks into her eyes the way I wish he'd look in mine.
stealing and constantly dreaming of things left to be done. A whispered secret, but I don't want to hide. A stolen glance, I'll take my chance. She'll be with me tonight. Who says it has to be forever? I die for a minute in your arms. You've shown me the way to better days. You see past my charms.
She'll never know, I'll never say. What would I tell her if I could? That someone's seen her all along. And if you need me, I'll be strong forever.
Hoping and grieving and somehow believing that our time will come. Forever. Catching and stealing and constantly dreaming of things left to be done. The hours change and lovers fade. Time just passes by. She smiles at me and I can see I'm not alone anymore. And he just looks like surprise the way I lie on you. Forever. Someday I'll find you. The stars will align true and our time will come. Forever. Sowing and daying, I hope you'll see what must be done for our time to come.
No matter the risk, no matter the foe.
All I know is this, yes, this is all I know. I'll be safe in your arms someday.
No, I did.
Really? Oh, you've quite the collection, Jay.
Yes, I've been a ferocious reader ever since my boyhood.
I see. What's your favorite?
Well, it's hard to pick just one.
Mine's Little Women. Do you have any Alcott?
I'm sure, but I wouldn't go prying. They are collectibles, after all.
I thought you said yourself you're a ferocious reader.
Oh, here!
Oh, I love this book. It's simply...
Daisy?
It's not real.
Sure it is. It's just, real stiff is all.
It's not real, Jay. What happened?
What I meant to say was, I used to read a lot, but now I'm more interested in the outdoors. I'm a sportsman now, truly.
Tom's a polo player.
I never cared for polo.
No, of course not.
How about a change of scenery?
Where to?
Well, this is a very large house, and you haven't seen most of it.
Oh, big houses all look the same to me.
Oh, come on, I insist. Let me show you around. It'll be fun.
All right. I could never say no to you, Jay.
I know. We'll tour the music hall first. I'll introduce you to my organist, Klipsinger. He's a descendant of Beethoven, don't you know?
Oh.
Where the hell has that girl wandered off to now?
Honestly, Tom, why do you care?
What do you mean, why do I care?
You don't even like her. Hell, if she wants to wander off into the night, let her. You know, if I were your wife, I'd never treat you like this. I'd give you whatever you want.
Right.
Well, how about it? I'd be twice the wife she is. We'd have a swell time. If you don't, I won't be here for you to toy with anymore.
You can't be serious.
Blame my husband. George reckons he'll be able to make a better go-off business if we go west.
I see.
But I wouldn't have to go if you left her. We could be us. Oh, wouldn't that be wonderful?
I don't have time for this.
No! You never have time for anyone but yourself.
Where is Daisy? I won't ask again.
I saw her go upstairs with that Gatsby cat. They went to the second room on the right.
Daisy.
What was all that about?
Tom's gone to look for Daisy.
Right. Come on, Jordan.
Tailor in England who sends me suits every quarter.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Here, let me show you. I have every fabric. I have silk. I have linens. I have flannel.
Jay, stop. They're
I
all
have madras, corduroy, broadcloth. I have gingham. I have lawn cloth. Hell, I even have garbadine. I think that this azure really brings out my eyes, don't you? Though truly, nothing suits me better than dollar green. My flower. What's wrong?
They're just such beautiful shirts.
You know, if it wasn't for the mist, we could see your house from here.
You could?
Yes, just across the bay.
My, what a coincidence.
That's just it. It's not a coincidence. I just wanted to be close to you.
Oh, Jay.
What is it?
This will cost me everything.
But we gain so much more.
I wish I had done everything on earth with you.
Good evening, old sport.
Tell me straight. What sort of a row are you trying to bring into my marriage, old sport?
Please, let's not do this here.
Quite right, Jordan. It is not very becoming to enter a stranger's bedroom. Let's go back downstairs and sort this mess out.
Nick,
No. Would anyone care for a drink? Anyone?
I think we're okay, Tom.
Come on, this is supposed to be a dinner party. Who's for gin Ricky? An old-fashioned. Who's for a sidecar? Or a French 75?
All of the above.
You know, Mr. Gatsby, I still have just one question for you.
Go on.
What sort of a row are you trying to bring into my house?
You're the one causing a row, old sport. Please, try to have some self-control.
Self-control. Well, I suppose the latest thing is to let Mr. Nobody from nowhere make love to your wife. Well, if that's the idea, you can count me out. Nowadays, people begin by sneering at family life and institutions.
Tom, your wife doesn't love you. She never loved you. She's only ever loved me, old sport.
Don't you call me old sport. Now, I know I'm not very popular. I don't throw big parties. I suppose you've got to turn your house into a pigsty in order to have any friends
Tom,
in them.
please, can we just go home?
That's a great idea. Come on.
Sit down! No. I would like to hear what Mr. Gatsby here's got to say.
Your wife doesn't love you. She only married you because I was poor and she was tired of waiting for me. It was a terrible, terrible mistake. But in her heart, she's never loved anyone but me.
So you're crazy.
You've got to tell him, Daisy, that you never loved him. Come on. It's all right. Tell him.
How could I possibly love him?
You never loved him.
I never loved him.
Never?
Never.
Not even in Capulani. When we swore we have the rest of our lives ahead of us. Not that time I carried you down from the punch bowl to keep your shoes dry.
Please, Tom, don't.
And what about Pammy? Don't you remember the time when we took her to Coney Island?
Please.
She had her first steps on that boardwalk.
Please don't.
Think about it, Daisy. Our lives are far too intertwined for you to give it all up just because I was tempted by some floozy.
I can't do it, Jay. I love you now. Isn't that enough?
I want to speak to Daisy alone. You've got her all excited now.
I haven't said anything that isn't true.
Daisy and I have been in love for 5 years.
Well, I can't speak on what happened 5 years ago because I didn't know Daisy back then. But I can say that the only way you would be anywhere close to her in recent years is if you delivered the groceries to her parents' back door.
It's not something you would understand, old sport.
I'm sure. And I suppose you think that she will fit right in with you and your cronies. You may as well move to a valley of ashes.
That's never stopped you from going there. You've got to tell him, Daisy. Come on. It isn't fair to yourself.
I know. I'm sorry.
So you're going to go back over there and tell him that you never loved him.
Of course.
And that you're leaving him.
Oh, I can't. What about Pammy?
You've got to leave him, Daisy, or I'll never be happy again.
That's not fair, Jay.
Oh. Oh, I understand. You don't love me.
It's not that. It's just complicated.
No, it's all right, Daisy. I don't know how I'll go on by myself, but
Jay.
It's a good thing I find myself such spectacular company. I've never had anyone else, really. I'll just go it alone a few years and try to get over you, Daisy. Embarking on that ever impossible quest. I don't know how I'll cope, but maybe it's for the best. It'll be difficult, but I'll try. Perhaps in a year or two you'll read something in the papers like how police find the Great Gatsby dead from heartbreak. Or he lived the life of a king but died a pauper.
I'll do it!
You will?
Yes. Oh, Daisy, that makes me so happy. You wouldn't believe.
I'd die without you, Daisy. You're all I think about.
I'm leaving you, Tom.
Don't be silly, Daisy. You can't leave me.
She is old sport.
No, she isn't.
I am, though.
No, you're not. Now, allow me to make one thing completely clear. You are my wife, which means, to put it very, very simply for you, that you cannot run around with other men making a mockery of me and everything that I stand for. You will sit down and shut up. And when I am finished, we will leave. You know that even if I go for a spree, I've always come back to you.
He doesn't mean it, Daisy. I would never do that to you.
She can think for herself.
Really, old sport? Because I don't recall you showing her that level of respect.
Who are you to question how I treat my own wife? Who are you? Who are you really? You tell us you are J. Gatsby, the Oxford man, war hero, and legend of New York. Well, why don't you tell us the story of the war?
I see what you're trying to do. You might think that you're better than me, but let me make one thing clear to you. You are a bad man with no morals, no respect, and no honor. And that means that there is nothing that you have that I don't have.
You keep forgetting one crucial thing, Jay. It is in my blood. In our blood. We are so far above you, you have no idea. We were born like this. Higher. Better.
Yes. You might have been born with more money and in a more prosperous area. But that will only amplify the kind of person you already are. You're born a kind man. You become a charitable saint. You're born a selfish worm. You become a self-righteous plague, infecting everyone who comes too close.
If you call providing safety and security from scum infection, then sure. But I would wager that what you could do is far worse.
And what is it that I could do to anyone, let alone someone I cared about?
Oh, so you think I don't know, don't you? You oblivious buffoon. I heard of the man throwing the huge parties, but didn't know of his name or background. Now that seemed strange. I had your past dug up, your affairs analyzed, and I found out everything about you. I know everything. So, why don't you enlighten us, seeing as you are so honorable and true?
Well, old sport, I'm sure I don't know what you're referring to.
Really? Not even if I mention Daniel Cody.
How do you know of him?
I told you, I know everything. Tell us.
Daniel's a friend from my youth.
Still don't want to tell us? Fine. Daniel Cody, the copper giant, was on his yacht Tuolumne in Lake Superior, as you do. And you decided to go to him and introduce yourself as J. Gatsby. You then contributed to the rescue of a ship from incoming dangerous weather, which is very courageous. So courageous, in fact, that Mr. Cody decided to keep you around for the next 5 years until he died, which subsequently meant that he left you $15,000 in his will. Now, after being cheated of this, you decided to move to New York, where you dreamed of immense wealth. The National Prohibition Act was quite useful to you when you're bootlegging, wasn't it?
We all must make our money somehow, mustn't we, old sport?
You see, that's just it. That is what separates us, and you keep forgetting that. Let's have a chat about Wolfsheim.
Don't!
Well, we're talking about income, aren't we? The World Series 1919 was a fair and just event, wasn't it? Or was it you and Meyer Wolfsheim who corrupted it just to make yourselves rich? Honorable man, this Gatsby, isn't he, darling? Oh, and that reminds me. You won't be surprised to learn that I know your name.
I don't follow.
Of course you don't. Mr. James Gatz. You couldn't even tell anyone your real name. Coward. Liar. Fraud!
This is preposterous.
Daisy, my love, can't you see what this man has done and what he is at his core? He's a villain who wants nothing more than to disrupt and cause chaos. Jordan, dear, would you be so kind as to take her upstairs and talk some sense into her? Calm her down.
Sure. Come on, Daisy.
You go as well, Metal.
Well, old sport, I must thank you for the wonderful evening. But now, with utmost respect, I must leave you to leave my estate, old sport.
No, it is not a bother at all. I am happy, though, for everyone to see who you truly are. If you really knew Daisy, and you don't, then you would have known that all she really wants is peace and ease. Not torment and pain which you bring in spades. It's funny, really.
What? What's funny, Tom? What?
It is nothing you could possibly understand, old sport.
what a racket.
It's pathetic.
Knock it off, Myrtle. Don't you think you've caused enough damage?
No?
You come here tarnishing their
Oh,
marriage.
Jordan, she's not worth the effort.
Well, you're worth fighting over, clearly.
Tom doesn't even know your name. You've seen that. You could be anybody else and he wouldn't even bat an eye.
At least he wants me here.
Think about what happens when you leave here for a second. You will go back to loneliness because your poor runt of a husband doesn't even notice you. Has he even noticed you're gone now? And with someone whose cars he personally services, no less.
It's okay, little flower. Not everyone can have two men at once.
Two men who don't love you. One has to stay with you by law, but has spent the entire night ignoring you and not even looking for you when you go missing. The other just wants you for your body, but has spent the rest of the night fighting and protecting somebody else. You really are alone. And that's how women like you will always end up alone.
People are horrible. I'm going back downstairs.
You really should let them sort themselves out. You've clearly never seen what happens between two men and what they think they lay claim to.
Tom wants to marry me, you know?
No, he doesn't. If he did, then none of this would have happened, and we'd all be a great deal happier. If Tom wanted to marry you, he would have done. I'm sure as hell not begging him to stay. As it is, you're not even worth the air you breathe.
Daisy.
No, really. I feel sorry for you. Because when this is all over, you'll have nothing to go back to other than a lazy husband who despises you just as much as the rest of us. I think I'd rather be dead. Do us all a favor.
Climbing towards a fall, surrounded by a ball, watching my blood decanted. Hours drift away, and there he'll stay. Oh, I know he planned it. I spent hours by wishing well, hoping for someone to save me. But hope's a funny thing, it don't mean anything if it's disenchanted. So I'll climb upwards, I can do it on my own. Pursue the strength I've always shown and never be swept aside. I'll climb upwards, bow hats and wishing wealth. I deserve to live among the swells. I wear my copper spoon with pride. I was told from when I was young that life should be fun, really maximize the days. And every gentleman pays. God, it's enough to make one blush if they knew the price of my trust. See, this mistress really ought to be obeyed. I remember how the flowers on Mother's window used to grow, just as I remember everything she said. In life, to never settle, you don't need to preserve petals for a man who'll never tell you where or when. But now that I am older and this world is so much colder than the kitchenette that never felt too small, and I look upon my lot To think of what I've got, I wonder, was it all really worth it at all?
Daisy, we're leaving. I'm going upstairs to gather our things.
Butler! Get Chicago on the line.
Tom?
Nick, it's Myrtle. She's dead.
Clip singer, stop that racket! I don't think that you understand me. I can go elsewhere if needs be. I don't think you know who I am. I am Jay. Goddamn Gatsby! And I expect, no, I demand a certain level of. I do not wish to speak with you, whoever you are. Now listen to me.
Jay, it's me.
Excuse me. How can I help you, Nicholas?
I came to see you.
Is it to jeer at a broken man? Go right ahead. What use is my pride now?
Myrtle's dead.
That's terrible.
Did you not just hear what I said?
I did.
And you are aware that it's Daisy's fault. All of this is Daisy's fault.
No, it's not her fault.
Jay, there is a dead girl in your house. You ought to go away. It's pretty certain they'll trace it back to you.
I can't do that, Nick.
Why ever not? You have more money than God.
Because I can't leave her.
You can't be serious. Surely you must see that it's over.
It will never be over. Not so long as there's breath in my body.
You're not thinking straight.
was the first nice girl I'd ever met. On that day that it was so hot, me and the other Camp Taylor officers went to her house. I'd never been somewhere so big before, and she lived there. I got to stand where she'd lived her life. She could have had anyone, but she wanted me, chose me. This is all just a big misunderstanding. I have my man waiting by the phones in case she gives a signal. I will rescue her, Nick.
You are delusional.
I am in love. And that is something that you will never understand.
You know what the worst thing here is, Jay? It's that you're worth more than the whole damn bunch of them put together.
Why the hell I have to do this, I don't know. Wilson Mechanics, Valley of Ashes. George Wilson? Mr. Tom Buchanan. I'm calling about Myrtle. I'm sorry to tell you that she has been having an affair with some scum named Gatsby. Yeah, J. Gatsby. Well, I don't know, maybe half a year or so. Yes, I know, that's awful. I just found out myself recently, and so it is my God-honest duty to let you know. He's a criminal, George. The guy who the papers always show throwing those huge, demented parties in Manhattan. Yes, the bootlegger. Poor girl. She threatened to reveal his illegal dealings to the police whilst myself and a few others were at his house for dinner. Well, listen, George. Things got out of hand, and he killed her. It wasn't until I got worried that I went to look for her, and I found her body. Yes, I know. I'm awfully sorry, George. You know, someone really ought to do something about a man like Gatsby. I've half a mind to take care of him myself. Well, if you're sure, George, of course I can do that for you. Don't you worry about a thing. I'll swing by tomorrow with that coupe after it's all been taken care of. All right. God bless. Good night. This American dream. This idea that people can make it after being born lower than the horses in my yard. It's funny, really. A dream. Old-fashioned values have gone completely out the window. Remembering your place, learning to serve a great American dynasty. His woman was better at this. Myrtle, she was good to me, for me. If you can dream and not make dreams your master. Where are you going?
I was just going to see Nick.
No, you're not. I've told you, Daisy, you need to stay safe from now on. Safe at home, my dear. Taking care of Pammy and making sure our home is comfortable.
It's only Nick, Tom. Surely he of all people won't hurt me.
These people have only caused us anguish, my love. Stay here. Please, for me.
I don't understand.
I thought I'd figure this out. I did it for you, Daisy, for the three of us. Our safety and our security.
Yes, I just wish things were different.
There is no need at all for all this, Daisy.
I would only be a short while at the cafe with Nick.
There is no need at all for this. Listen, Gatsby is gone. Myrtle is gone. Nick is too immature to understand this, and Jordan, well, frankly, I don't think she's a good influence on you. It must just be the three of us now, staying close to each other. Let's move to Chicago. We'll be safe there. We'll forget about all this nonsense and focus on each other. How about it? Daisy. I love you. I truly love you. Don't you ever forget that I need you here with me in my life. It's always been you. Never mind whoever else I see. It's always been you, Daisy, and you only. Come here.
Chicago sounds nice.
Yes. I've heard of a house coming up on Lakeview. Go to Nick. But I want you home by 5, no later. I'll send a driver to pick you up.
Thank you, Tom. I love you too. The things I can't confess, sin silenced will never speak. One of us is left, just so happens that it's me. The winner of the prize, yet mine will take the fall. Turquoise nausea fills my mind, green flush of confidence by his side. My petals, don't let them grow, just go ahead, no one must know. Maybe I could, God knows he's worth it. All I keep asking is, do I deserve it? I know redemption costs me forever. It's hard to cut ties when your heart is severed. Hands are still bloody when they're gloved, and everything can be blamed on love. Picture perfect, dark horses seem to have a million choices. A million choices. Lost in time, it's the sweet smell of fall. Paralyzed, it's been us through it all. But smoke and tight body bags, and everyone would think I'm mad. But I know the truth. I can't run to him and lose. Well, maybe I could. God knows he's worth it. But all I keep asking is, do I deserve it? I know redemption costs me forever. It's hard to cut ties when your heart is severed. Hands are still bloody when they're gloved, and everything can be blamed on love. Picture perfect, dark horses seem to have a million choices. A million choices. Lost in time, it's the sweet smell of fall. Paralyzed, it's been us through it all. The things I can't confess, sin silenced will never speak. One of us is left, just so happens that it's me. Nick, how are you?
Fine.
I'm glad to hear it.
I'll admit I was surprised to hear from you so soon after.
Let's not do this.
Might I
Nikki.
remind you that someone is dead because of you, Daisy?
Don't you think I know that?
Well, you haven't been acting like it. You haven't been to Gatsby's once. He's taken the fall for this, and you don't care.
I do care. It's just that Tom has been so sweet. It's better if I stay home.
And why did you want to see me, Daisy? What's your point?
Let's not do this, Nikki. After everything, we need each other.
I can't say I need you.
Oh, we both know that's not true. You know, you ought to talk to Jordan.
I'm not discussing this.
Please, Nikki.
I don't owe you a thing, Daisy.
I just want this all to be over. Can't we go back to normal?
Want what to be over?
Tom and I are moving to Chicago. He's found a house in Lakeview so that Pammy can grow up closer to Tom's family.
You're leaving. What about Jay?
I don't really have a choice, Nikki.
Are you really that selfish? Daisy, this is a man who risked everything for you.
I'm not involving myself. It doesn't concern me.
You cannot do nothing. He died for you.
That's not my fault. I'm doing things the right way this time.
You are a foolish girl, Daisy. You know, I don't even have it in me to be angry anymore. I'm just so bitterly disappointed that the woman that I knew would turn into such a coward.
I am not a coward.
Well, what would you call someone who told an innocent woman to kill herself, could not confront the reality of her own actions, leaving the man she cheated on her husband with to clean up the mess? You were raised better than that, Daisy.
I am not taking that from a filthy queer who has spent his entire life hiding from the truth and pushing other people under the bus.
Well, why don't you just fuck off and play happy families with your husband in Chicago? What are you doing here?
Getting coffee, same as you. What's going on with you anyways? You're looking like a dewdropper.
It's nothing. I just seem to have found myself alone and probably better off for it.
Oh, I'm not sure what to say. Other than that, I was sorry when I read about Gatsby.
There's nothing you can do. Nothing I can do. Sometimes I feel so helpless with it all. I really did care for him, you know? More than I should. Gatsby, that beautiful fool.
I thought you might have done.
I don't know how to cope with it.
Well, Daisy seems to think we should get married and cope together.
They're careless people, Daisy and Tom. They smash up other people's lives and then retreat back into their money or vast carelessness or whatever it is that keeps them together. They mess up other people's lives and move on.
So you've heard then?
Heard what?
They're going back to Chicago. Tom arranged it all after Myrtle.
See if I care. I'm done with all of them.
I suppose I am too. I do believe she was right about us, though. Marriage, I mean.
You can't be serious.
Why not? It's a free pass to do what we want for the rest of our lives. Folk can't question you when you've got a rock on your left hand.
You mean
We live as kindred spirits. Nice house by the sea with 2 master bedrooms.
and see other people? Our kind of people?
Nick, if I've learned anything recently, it's that I don't want to see any other kind of people. There's a whole world out there for you. You just have to be brave enough to see it. Sometimes life's a little strange. We weren't meant to fit the page, me and you. So I find comfort in my ways, notes on my own stave, I do. Though sometimes life is lonely, bitter secrets left unsaid, like the poison pillows left on a hopeless sinner's bed. And I don't have the answers, I can't even explain myself. All I know is we wish we were someone else. So anytime, anything you need, I'll be there. Anytime, anything, I can come through. Knowing just the way we are, the way we fight for broken hearts, and wanting love the others swear we knew.
I know the way that things are bleak, that hatred lies between the walls and bounces in your head.
I know no picket or maroon can change the way that you hide yourself. No, you haven't a clue.
There's clouds with no sunshine, there's the vat of endless shame, and the guilt of knowing you'll never further that family name.
But it's smothered by the comfort of how that sweet person smells. And you know, I know, we can't live a life to ourselves.
So anytime, anything you need, I'll be there. Anytime, anything, I can come through. Seeing things the way you do, perfectly misaligned as me and you, we'll grow old together, beautifully apart. Yes, anytime, anything you need, I'll be there. I'll be there. Anytime, anything, I can come through. I will come through. You and me and them and him. I want to see what could have been. The future is ours together. All we have to do is start.
Well then,